America, and welcome to In the Zone, Millersville's only sports show. I'm your host today, Andrew Mayers, joined by Kris and Ryan. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Feeling pretty good.
Doing good.
Good, guys. Well, without further ado, let's get in the zone. We're going to begin today with the Los Angeles Clippers. For the first time in their franchise history, they have won their division title. So, Ryan, are the Clippers just that good, or are the Lakers having an off year this year?
Andrew, I think that's part of both. The Lakers obviously sustained a lot of injuries with Steve Nash and Pau Gasol. Also, Dwight Howard going down for parts of the season. But the Clippers are a for-real team. Chris Paul, since he's come back, has been playing well. They have a solid veteran bench. This Clipper team could finish, 5 or 4 seeding-wise for the playoffs and possibly could play the Grizzlies, who they've beaten 2 out of 3 times this season. I can see them winning that first-round matchup and keep going on in the playoffs.
Well, Kris, how do you feel?
Here's the thing. More importantly, I have to agree, it has to do with also the Lakers with stability injuries. Dwight Howard not being 100% the entire season. Kobe Bryant, Dwight Howard, Metta World Peace, Pau Gasol, pretty much their entire starting 5.
Whole roster.
Yeah, pretty much their entire roster. Jordan Hill's out for the season. More importantly, they're injured in the head coaching position because D'Antoni has no idea what he's doing. But I'm not going to take that away for the Clippers. They did what they need to do, but I'm not buying them at all. I think they're honestly overrated, and more importantly, I think they're going to be a one-and-done team. If the
Whoa. So you think they're out the first round?
Yes.
Ryan, what do you think? Are the Clippers at least getting a little deeper into the playoffs?
I think it's going to be the same thing as last year. I think it's going to 7. The problem with the Clippers is they have to play that fast-paced offense to score a lot of points. Their half-court isn't great. And the thing that the Memphis Grizzlies do well.
They have the worst half-court offense in the West.
Yes. Wait, what?
They have the worst half-court offense in the West.
Exactly, Kris, helping me with my point there. Memphis Grizzlies will slow this team down. Memphis Grizzlies, best defensive team in the league.
Exactly. Listen, and more importantly, I think Shaq's pretty much said it best. If your toughest player is your point guard, you're not going to get any ground. More importantly, Chris Paul has not been able to stay healthy all season. Jamal Crawford pretty much shows why he's pretty much a journeyman, even though it's very exciting to watch. More importantly, DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin, as talented as they are, they're both soft. Physically and mentally, Del Negro's a terrible coach. I'm not buying this Clipper team at all as a real viable contender. I really think it's going to come down to either OKC or the Spurs coming out the West. I'm not buying the Clippers at all.
Okay, well, let's move on now. Let's talk about the New York Knickerbockers. They have won 12 straight games, and in the last 4 games, let me give some stats for you. Carmelo is averaging 41-10. So, Kris, are the Knicks for real, or does the streak mean nothing?
I really think the streak. It's a nice streak, 12 in a row. That's pretty much hard to do for any NBA.
He did it.
Yeah, I know. They won 27, though.
Clippers did it.
Clippers also forgot about them as well. But it really means nothing. I mean, what they're pretty much doing now, since Miami pretty much has the number 1 seed locked up, they're pretty much trying to secure the number 2 seed from Indiana. I mean, Carmelo Anthony's pretty much playing out of his mind the past numerous amount of games. More importantly, it goes back to the point they're playing a lot better without Amari Stoudemire in the lineup. I really think that if the Knicks can somehow, get past the Boston Celtics, who really isn't a team to be sleeping on, especially in the playoffs, I really think they have a good chance of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals to face Miami.
Ryan, do you think the Knicks are better off without their $100 million man and Amari Stoudemire?
Yeah, I agree exactly with Kris. They have obviously won 12 games in a row, and of those, 8 of those teams are currently in the playoffs or going to be going to the playoffs. This Knicks team, has had their ups and downs the entire season, but looks like they're playing their best basketball at the right time. And since they're doing this, they're going to have a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. Carmelo is playing extremely well. The problem here is Carmelo can't be your leading rebounder on your team. He has been in this streak. I like him going inside more and stuff like that, but where is Tyson Chandler?
Where's Kenyon Martin?
They really don't have a good backup bench. They don't have good backup players. Rasheed Wallace went down, but he really isn't anything. I don't know where their backup bigs are at all. So, I see them winning their first-round game, but Miami is going to do work on everyone else.
Not to mention J.R. Smith is also playing out of his mind as well. But more importantly, the main thing I'm worried about the New York Knicks is that they're playing so good to the point where it's like, will this actually hurt them? Because if they're playing this good now, do you think they'll honestly fizzle out, be tired because Carmelo Anthony's playing so many minutes, doing so much for this team. He's pretty much been doing this for the past two plus years. And will that honestly burn them out for a first-round matchup against Boston?
Well, guys, the enigma known as Flash Wow, or a.k.a. Dwayne Wade, has admitted he might be out of the remainder of the regular season and purposely wait until playoffs to remain healthy. So if the absence of Dwayne Wade during the remainder of the regular season, is Miami still the team to beat in the East? And how will this affect the repeat?
Doesn't affect them at all. They have the number 1 seed locked up. I mean, more importantly, LeBron's relatively not playing. Ray Allen's relatively not playing. Mario Chalmers really isn't playing. I mean, the ESPN game, LeBron pretty much played in the fourth quarter, but pretty much all he was doing was just handing out assists to everyone else. It really holds no relevance towards Miami, towards repeating, unless Wade's injuries affect him going into the playoffs.
So, Ryan, in the playoffs without Wade, do you think that he can get it done, just Bosh and James?
Yeah, I think that he can get it done. The Eastern Conference is pretty weak. I mean, I think even with two of those players, they still beat the Knicks. I don't think Boston's that big. I think Boston could take them to 6, but I think the Heat would still win that series. The Nets are nothing. The Pacers, sometimes they play well, sometimes they don't. I feel like
they match up good against Miami.
But I think they need to utilize their size more. I don't think they go inside to Hibbert and West as much as they should when they play the Heat, because that's how you beat the Heat. You go inside.
Hibbert disappears way too much for my liking. The Nets are just there. I think more importantly, the main thing to beat Miami is you got to pound the rock inside. The only team that could really do that effectively is the Pacers, the Chicago Bulls as well. But think about it. Derrick Rose is gone. Danny Granger's gone. It's pretty much Rondo's gone also. It's pretty much every good player that plays for all the playoff teams are relatively hurt. Oh yeah, and the Hawks are also there too. But
well, guys, as much as we love to talk about basketball, there is some football news going on. Sources say Rob Gronkowski is going to have his 4th surgery on his forearm and is likely to miss the start of the year. Ryan, should the Patriots be concerned that their star tight end is again having surgery on his forearm?
I mean, it's only April, but I would definitely have a red flag up right now.
This is 4th surgery.
4 surgeries for anything, I don't care what it is definitely going to be a red flag. I don't know. Gronkowski, this could be an injury that lingers on. I don't know what's going to happen. He took a hit in the playoffs by Pollard. Pollard obviously is a big hitter, but he took one hit and he was out. So
Pollard's the Patriots killer. Chris, how do you feel?
Let's look at it. This really, I have to agree with Ryan. This really is a red flag and a legitimate concern. It also shows that Aaron Hernandez also can't stay healthy throughout the season. They lost Wes Welker to Denver. They
got Danny, the wide receiver from St. Louis.
He didn't play for most of the season also as well. It's pretty much like a lateral movement. And not to mention, you also had Deion Branch also gone. The Patriots pretty much relatively. Who's Tom Brady going to throw the ball to? I understand, we
said this before in the past, and yet Brady finds a way.
Yeah, I know. Belichick has a phenomenal system in place. Listen, the smart money never bets on Belichick. As much as I want to count him out, I just can't count him out. But I think this is honestly, Gronkowski, I really think he's irreplaceable. This is honestly a legitimate concern, especially with, teams like, the Miami Dolphins, getting better as well. They need to be worried.
Well, that's all the time we have today for our first segment. Stay tuned, because coming up next is our MLB preview. You're watching In the Zone.
Bead & Pottery Works in downtown Lancaster is your creativity destination. Something new awaits you with every visit. Sit down and let your imagination decorate your own piece of pottery. Visitors can select from over 250 plus combinations of pottery and paints. If you're looking for a quick gift, string your own necklace for that personal flair, or design a bracelet or pair of earrings at the beading studio. The Beadworks and Pottery Works in Lancaster. Creativity for everyone, activities for all ages.
Well, that does it for this edition of News 99. Coming up next on MTV, our new hit show, The Vibe, followed by In the Zone with a sneak peek into Donovan McNabb's season.
He just said MTV, not MUTV.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I'm just getting warmed up.
All right, let's do it again from the top. In 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Well, that'll do it for this edition of News 99. Coming up next on MTVU, our new hit show, The Vibe, followed by...
Oh my God.
What happened?
MTVU?
What happened?
Are you serious? MTVU.
Oh. We'll do it from the top again. I'm getting warmed up.
He said MTVU, not MUTV. And Bobby?
We're just going to have Matt do this one, okay?
Yeah, I'm just going to do it. All right, just, are you good?
Go ahead.
All right.
All right, from the
Top, one more time. Matt, you're closing it. In 5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
That does it for this edition of News 99. Coming up next on MUTV, our new hit show, The Vibe, and In the Zone with a sneak peek of Donovan McNabb. Are you serious? All you have to do is sit there and look pretty as I talk. That's all. If you can't do your job, I'm fine with that. But seriously, just sit there. Quiet. No. That's all you have to do. Quiet as I talk. Can you do your job correctly?
We can do it.
Just sit there as I talk.
We got this.
All right? All right? Are we going to do this again?
All right, from the top again.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, that does it for this installment of News 99. Coming up next on MUTV, our new hit show, The Vibe, and then
Welcome back to In the Zone, and it's getting warm outside. You know what that means. Baseball season is back, and here on In the Zone, we love to do our annual MLB preview. So, guys, let's talk some baseball. You know, we have a lot of interesting things going on this year. Kris, the AL just seems like a wild card. A lot of teams are spending a lot of money. Let's start with the AL East with a lot of injuries. Who do you have winning and why?
I pretty much have the Blue Jays pretty much winning it's between the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Blue Jays because pretty much, all the pretty much, the good transitions, getting Jose Reyes, also going with, Jose Bautista. I mean, more importantly, you got a Cy Young pitcher and R.A. Dickey who's pretty much coming off,
But is he going to be a one-hit wonder? He only had one good year.
I mean, but then again, he also has one of the more impossible, balls to hit, which is the knuckleball.
It's a wild card pitch.
Now I'm just saying, listen, I just like what I'm seeing from the Blue Jays. They look like they're serious about, getting a viable contender. The Marlins kind of did it last year and they kind of fizzled out. I really think I got put money on the Blue Jays. Although I do like the Orioles, I really think the Blue Jays are going to get the division.
No, I'm taking the Orioles to win. Kris, how can you go with the Blue Jays? Obviously, yes, they have spent a lot of money on a roster, but up there in Canada, when was the last time they won that division? I mean, they've had relevant teams to the All-Star break, but obviously last year the Angels tried to buy a team. They didn't even go to the World Series. I mean, this Toronto team, if Jose Bautista, he's gotten injured the past 2 seasons for a significant amount of time. I think it's too tough a division. Their pitching, I don't know. I think their pitching is a wild card. Obviously, they did get Josh Johnson and Burley, but I don't know. Josh Johnson last year was not very good. The Marlins wanted to keep him, but eventually they did trade him. I think the Orioles are just too steady. That offense is just too good, and they have this renewed crowd coming in, and I think it's Baltimore's time.
Look, the main problem with the Blue Jays was their inability to stay healthy. I really think if they stay healthy, they're going to win a division. I like what the Orioles are doing, continuity and everything, but how do you know that they're just not a one-hit wonder?
All right, guys, let's move on to the AL West now, where there's a new team in town. The Astros have made the switch. Now, on opening night, the Astros won the game. That was the first time they led a division in almost 6 years when they beat the Rangers because they were the first people who played. So, guys, at the end of the season, will the Astros still be the champs of the AL West?
Oh, God, no. No, just no.
No love for Houston?
No, I'm sorry. Listen, ever since that game.
But they were leading the division at one point.
Yeah, 1-0, and when no one else was playing. Listen, I'm sorry, but the fact that they've been giving up hits and runs left and right, like free candy in a candy shop. I really think it's the Angels' division to lose, pretty much simply because of this offense. Josh Hamilton, Albert Pujols, Mike Trout, Boras. Listen, I really think
sounds like the West Coast Yankees.
Hey, man, listen, I think this honestly, potential-wise, could be arguably the best offense pretty much assembled in probably MLB history. The main problem I have with this team, though, is outside of Jared Weaver, their pitching is just so-and-so.